Hello ladies, gents, and everyones. It is Thursday, May 20th, and that means we're here to talk about this week's space and astronomy news. Big news over on Mars, where China became just the second nation to ever land a successful mission on the surface. Their rover, called Zhurong after the Chinese god of fire, landed successfully on Friday evening. The lander and rover are part of the Tianwen-1 mission, which was launched in 2020 and was placed into orbit in February of this year. This was China's first mission to Mars, and they did it all in the same mission: orbiter, lander, rover, which is really cool and exciting and shows that they've really been learning from what's been done in previous missions. The lander touched down in the Utopia Planitia Basin, where the rover is planned for a mission that will last at least 90 sols. The first pictures from the mission were released yesterday, showing the ramp that the rover will use to descend from the lander, and a partial shot of the rover showing the successful deployment of the solar arrays and antenna. So really exciting. Love to see this. Congrats to China on this rover landing. So we've talked a lot about the James Webb Space Telescope, or the JWST, which is the next big flagship space telescope from NASA. This project has been plagued by innumerable delays, cost overruns, etc., but it looked like it was finally on track for its planned launch on October 31st of this year. But now it looks like there might actually be some trouble from a rather unexpected source, and that is the launch vehicle. So JWST is going to be launched on board an Ariane-5 rocket, which is operated by the Ariane-Space company and has been a reliable and much used launch vehicle. However, Ariane-Space recently acknowledged that in two recent Ariane-5 launches, there were departure from nominal behavior. Now, in both cases, the payloads were unaffected. However, it seems to be related to some amount of vibration during launch, and that is certainly a concern for the very delicate, very expensive JWST. And so certainly this needs to be resolved until before the JWST launches. In addition, there are two launches scheduled prior to the JWST. So as those launch dates slip, it could push the JWST launch date further out. So it's not clear yet what the impact is going to be. And of course, it would be very unfortunate if we had to push this launch date back. But the most important thing is making sure that everything is going to be great for the launch. And so hopefully Ariane-Space will have some good news for us soon, and we can look forward to that JWST launch. Because of course, while launches seem relatively commonplace these days, they are still extraordinary events of engineering, and a lot of things have to go right, and sometimes those things go wrong, and we actually just saw that with a Rocket Lab failed launch this past Saturday. This was the 20th Electron launch for a mission called Running Out of Toes, and they were supposed to put 2 satellites into space for a private firm called Black Sky. Unfortunately, about 3 minutes after launch, the launch failed and the payload was lost. The issue seemed to arise right after the second stage ignition. The first stage seemed to go off nominally, and the first stage was actually recovered. This is the second time that Rocket Lab has recovered their first stage from an Electron mission. However, that second stage just didn't quite do what it was supposed to. The company is now, of course, investigating this along with the FAA so they can return to operations. And their initial review of the data seems to indicate that the onboard computer shut down the engine for some reason. Still TBD. There's obviously going to be a lot more information, I'm sure, coming out about this. So unfortunate news for Rocket Lab and the Electron rocket. The Crew-3 mission is a SpaceX mission planned to launch to the International Space Station later this fall. And 3 of the 4 seats on board this mission were announced and filled in December, with 2 NASA astronauts, Raja Shari and Tom Marshburn, and 1 ESA astronaut, Matthias Maurer. However, that 4th seat was left unfilled, and the idea was that basically possibly going to reach a deal with Roscosmos to fill that with a Russian cosmonaut. However, this week NASA officially announced that that 4th seat is in fact going to be filled by a NASA astronaut, so apparently no deal was able to be reached with Roscosmos. Now this 4th NASA astronaut is rookie astronaut Kayla Barron, and fun fact, we actually went to undergrad together. We didn't know each other, but we overlapped at the Naval Academy for 3 years, and she was in fact a year behind me, and so having some feelings. But congrats to her, and good luck to the whole Crew-3 mission later this year. Now, if you too have always dreamed of going to the International Space Station, even if you're not a NASA astronaut, you could have a chance. So the Discovery Channel just announced on Tuesday a new reality competition show called Who Wants to Be an Astronaut? And the winner of this show is going to get a seat on board the Axiom 2 mission, which is an Axiom space mission to the International Space Station for about 8 days, I believe. That is supposed to happen sometime next year. Applications are now open for the show to members of the public. There's a questionnaire to fill out, and you have to provide a 30 to 60-second video about why you would be an excellent astronaut. Speaking of private space ventures, we talked about the upcoming first crewed New Shepard mission from Blue Origin and how they were running an auction for one of the seats on this flight. So the sealed online bidding had been going on starting May 5th for this seat, and just yesterday they unveiled these bids, and so now they are unsealed bids that are happening online. And as of last night, the high bid was $2.8 million. So if you want to get your seat on this flight, it's going to cost you. This is all going to culminate in a live auction on June 12th, so expect to see those numbers probably increase more. And Blue Origin also gave a date for this launch now, which is going to be July 20th. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks so much for watching. I would say see you again next week, but I'm actually taking next week off. And unfortunately, I cannot pre-record a news video. So there's not going to be a news video next week, but I will see you again in 2 weeks in June for the next news update. Have a good one. Bye.